Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today in Soulframe, we're going to go over if you should play Soulframe based on the current pre-release early alpha, which is everything you see today. The game has come off NDA, and this is essentially a first impressions review. I have completed all possible quests in the game, and I have done everything once in the game, like all the dungeons and areas quickly, and explored around for about like 10 hours or so. So this is going to be like a complete review of the whole game for now. And there will in the future be way more stuff because, again, this is like pre-alpha. So this is like the jankiest it can possibly be right now. So what is Soulframe? It is more of a melee magics RPG. Think something like Skyrim, Dark Souls, etc. It is also Warframe like. It has no story relation to Warframe, but it has a lot of systems in place that are very similar to Warframe. After all, this game is created on the same engine as Warframe, I believe. Digital Extremes' Evolution engine, correct me if I'm wrong, but it should all still be Warframe-like Digital Extremes-ish. So if you are aware of Warframe, you might probably compare this to Duviri Paradox, which is what everyone is currently doing. So how does this game work? You have weapon attacks, one weapon at a time. You have magic attacks. I currently have a bow and some magic there. And you can block and also throw your weapon and retrieve it at any time, which is actually pretty cool. Kind of like that. Huge fan. So let's get into combat quickly, just so you can see how it works. It's pretty basic combat. These might be low-level enemies, right? They're just coming at you. You can block, you can hit them, parry them. Okay, they're just beating me up. I'm terrible. That is an actual parry into a riposte. You can just straight up block, but obviously parrying is blocking on time. That is like a parry, right? Really low level enemies, just, yeah. A lot of the game right now is fighting enemies, collecting loot from chests, as well as collecting loot from boxes and collecting loot from all of the dead enemies, right? It is still a Warframe-like, yes, looter game, but looter medieval fantasy RPG. So that is going to be a lot of the game's content cycle, is running from dungeon to dungeon, fighting enemies, collecting loot. Oh, as you can see, pre-alpha, still a little buggy there, and just leveling up. You level up your weapons, and you level up your pact, which is your arm, which is essentially your character class and abilities. Everything, your entire setup of your abilities and stat allocation is based on your pact, which is your magic arm that you see right here. I am using the Fey Pact. It is this blue magic arm. So I'll show you how that works. First off, you hold Alt for just like your base ability. Left click hold. It is a explosive bow. First ability, shoot it in the ground. It freezes enemies in place. They turn to stone. Heavy attack, boom, do a lot of damage. Second ability, it spawns on the Fey arm all of the birds to just absolutely destroy the enemies. The third ability, I go invisible, which makes it so that you can sneak around and backstab. So it's kind of like an assassination ability. That is the Fey arm. It is your ability class. It is like your frame, if you will. They use the word frame in this too. You also have a skill tree and everything along the line of that. As you can see, my Fey Pact leveled up. I now have another skill point that I can put into my Fey Pact. So, yep, let's take a look and just beat up a ton of enemies quickly so you can just kind of see how the game works. There is no jumping over ledges, so you need to, like, there's no grappling up, so you just kind of have to jump onto stuff like that. Animations can look a bit goofy, stuff like that. Keep that in mind that it's like pre-alpha, so the game needs time to cook. I will honestly say the game needs like a solid year probably to cook, right? No, the arms they call them frames in this, like legitimately. It's Warframe coded, okay? Yeah, so it will need more time to cook. Straight up 1 year. There's not a lot of content right now. There are 2 bosses. I fought them all and I did all the quests within 5 hours. So that's kind of where we're at. Outside of that, you just farm, kill, and get new weapons and level them up. So obviously for a pre-alpha, it's good and it's pretty fun. This is the entire map of the game. There are no mounts right now or no fast traveling because you honestly don't need it. It is not that big of a map. And you also have random pop-up, they're called like Sparrow quests or something, really pop-up quests or events And all you have to do is hit G, you have a guiding bird, and the guiding bird kind of takes you to where all of the quests are located. So it's a pretty good system right now. Obviously not perfect. I had that like little thing there. The bird can bug out, it can get lost, things like that. Again, pre-alpha. As you can see, people like think the running animation's a little janky, a little weird. Jankies. The jumping animation looks a little weird. Sparrow's tail. Yeah, that's what the pop-up quests are called. They're like Sparrow tails. Think of them like pop-up quest events, right? Or open world alerts, if you will. They just pop up, you quickly go do it, you get your XP, and you're good to go. These are low-level enemies, so I kind of dumpster them. You can see, if you charge your bow max, it does a lot of damage, and it pierces through people. The Natteruk has never looked stronger. You go around collecting loot, because this game is still it's a looter medieval RPG. Not a shooter though, but it is still a looter. You can dodge away, freeze him, use that, and then go invisible. Crap, I accidentally ran. Sadly, running takes you out of your invisibility, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's gonna be a lot of the cycle of the game. The game has dungeons, and it's pretty easy to find them. A lot of the Sparrow quests pop up and lead you to dungeons, okay? And the dungeons have 2 tile sets right now, essentially. There's the Glades, and then there's the Undercity tile set. And they're pretty cool. I'll show off maybe some footage and we'll go to one later, but it's the same as open world combat, other than it's procedurally generated areas and connected Undercity and Glades areas. They're just procedurally generated in the same way that Warframe is, if you've played it. It connects the little areas together, and then you do the dungeon, kill the enemies, get some loot. It's pretty fun overall, but again, it needs time to cook. You have like overworld stuff like this to break, get some XP from breaking it. I somehow missed that. There we go, right? That explodes, get 1,000 XP right there. Whew, beautiful. And then you can always just follow your bird. Since there's a Sparrow quest or Sparrow tail right now, I just hit G and my bird takes me to right there. Slay the banneret and their patrol, right? Not bad. Also, I should mention one more thing in a second. It's that the game has health and potions. That's me healing right there. If I take off my face cam, you can see right here, this is the UI, and it's pretty bare bones, right? You have health in the bottom left, you have in the middle here, your little compass, you have skills in your bottom right, and then you have general information in the top left for quests. So it is very, very bare bones UI, and I kind of like it that way. I actually very much enjoy that it's not shoving the UI in your face. Where's my birdie going? Oh, he's going around here. So that is the main gameplay cycle of the game. You go around, you kill people, and you fight enemies. That over there is a mini boss, right? It has the name, it has health. I would consider this one of the mini bosses of the game. And like I said before, the game has 2 main bosses. I would say it has Nimrod, which is the second boss, and it has a corrupted stag that is the first boss. You fight someone called Lady, I think like Diodra? I might mess up her name. You fight her into a corrupted stag, and then the bosses can also spawn as open world events so that you can replay and refight the bosses. So it's actually really cool. I do like that part of the game. It makes it so that you actually will end up fighting the old bosses multiple times. You get loot, fragment discovered, right there. So yeah, that is the generals of the game itself, right? But you hit tab, and then you go into your hub world. Think of this as your base. It's where you upgrade your gear. It's where you swap it out. It's where you upgrade your skills, build gear, right? We have a blacksmith right there. Right here we have clothing coloring. So it's just for now, coloring customization. Here we have the kind of like lore guy. You can get motes from him. And then in here we have skills, your giant puppy dog friend. He will apparently be a mount in the future, but currently is just a big dog that chills out here. If you hit, not escape, but if you hit, let me tab out to go to the other menu actually, like back in here. It is if you hit escape. If you hit escape, you can go to the overworld map. You can go to your inventory, check what weapons you have. By the way, leveling up weapons does make them stronger, so you definitely want to get them to rank 30. Currently, gear, like equipable armor, is only cosmetic. I believe they plan to give it stats in the future. But there are items that you use to upgrade stuff when forging it, which are the joineries. There are motes, which are kind of little buffs to your weapons or your abilities / packs. There are fragments, which are, you know, parts to build weapons and gear. And then there's just a bunch of, obviously, items that are building materials. So, yeah, there is a journal. There's not really much there. This is tracking your quests, but there's almost no quests in the game. Like I said, it's pre-early alpha. They need like a full year to get a lot more quests and a lot more just general content into the game. Your codex is your information. It shows locations, which you slowly unlock the full name and lore of a location. It explains this early on in the game, and you can always like view the location here. And once you fully unlock the name, that's when you're like fully unlock the location. So right now I have some English like H Lydon, you know, this one's RRN, yeah. But this one is Fort Curlail because I've fully unlocked it. It just takes a little bit of time, okay? It does have a full friends list and everything, the same as setup and UI as Warframe, because again, it's built on the Evolution engine. So if you play Warframe, it's gonna be very similar to a lot of Warframe stuff. So just, you know, just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Now let's go back to the open world, or sorry, your hub world to actually look at everything. This tree right now doesn't actually do anything, but it's just very pretty because you walk up to it. Hey, and it's a pretty tree, right? Like that's so cool. Look at that. This is Soulframe, right? Let me take a nice screenshot right there. That'll be a good picture for the thumbnail. Oh, it's such a pretty tree. And this is Verminia, the latest NPC added to the game. Everyone loves her. We all simp for Verminia. She is the rat queen.
It brings us a nibble?
Yeah, and she is, as you can tell,
Then tell it we are busy.
aggressively French, and everyone loves her. So she can randomize the colors on your clothes, and that is it right now. There will be more options later, okay? But for now, that's all she does. Legitimately, all she does.
This is so you.
Because she was, again, just added to the game. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say about her. Going back to this guy, there's not much to say about him. He's kind of like the record keeper, if you will, the cartographer, map guy. That's why you have a little map there. He's just like the codex lore keeper. You talk to him, and once you fully unlock an area, he will give you an item. So you do actually want to unlock the areas. He will give you a mote, and that is used to buff your gear, like I said before, but we'll go over that soon enough. This is your dog. You can pet the puppy, Super Puppy Wolf, and it is awesome, okay? It is awesome. I love the dog. He is a good boy. Look at the puppy. Oh my God. I pulled out the weapon on him. So yeah, cool dog, cool dog. There are currently 5 style and types of weapons, but I will show you that later in there. And there is the blacksmith right here. You do a quick quest to unlock the blacksmith early on, but the game's a little goofy, so it can be missed. And that's kind of a problem they should probably fix. You level up the blacksmith, that's the blacksmith level up here, and you just build gear. All of the, like I said before, all of the actual gear like this is cosmetic, and it does have build times, but they're not too terrible or anything. And you can just straight up be like, okay, we have the parts for this, we have the parts for this. Let's get on that. Joinery, tribalt, right? Boom. Assemble. Great. Awesome. Now we're building something. I need to build things to level her up so that I can build this because I need to be rank 3. So, yeah. There's not really much else you can say about her. She's just a blacksmith. Pretty simple stuff. Blacksmith stuff. Upgrade items. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Then we have this lovely area. We have this vendor here. He is the, I guess, mote vendor. Not vendor. The mote applicator, applier. Motes are essentially buffs to your weapons and your packs, which are like your skill setup and everything. So I have my Vasp 4, I have a mote for plus 3 damage. My Solus 1, plus 3 damage. It's because that is the only mote I have for weapons right now, so yeah. As for packs, I have 2 packs. I have my Fey Pact, it's only level 11, so I only have 1 mote on it, plus 1 courage. All of the motes are shared between the weapons, so there's no care about using one on one weapon versus the other. So plus 1 courage, courage is a stat, cool. On my Ode Tempest, since it's a higher level, I have this one, plus 1 courage, and also this one, plus 1 courage and plus 1 grace. You unlock the motes just by, again, finding out all of the open world map areas and fully unlocking the map. It takes some time, but Each time you log in, there's one yellow bauble that'll spawn at like each of the maps, and you just have to absorb it with your packed arm. Trust me, a lot of this will be explained in the game, but it's kind of poorly explained, so most likely they'll explain it and have better intro quests when the game comes out. But again, it's pre-early alpha. Shits are buggy. Yeah, those are like little Spirited Away guys, you know, like little ghosty ghosts. I think they're adorable. They just remind me of the Spirited Away little black eyeball ghost things. They're just like little spirits, right? They're little friendly spirits. They're cute. They're our friends. So yeah. And this right here is where we fully customize everything on our character. You can freely redistribute your stats here. You are able to take on and off helmets at will. And all your clothes, right? And you can also go to this area at any time. Mid-dungeon, open world, at any time you can go to your hub world to swap stuff out. As long as you're not actively in combat, which is, I don't know, pretty easy. But you can fully redistribute stats at any time on any of your character setups. And the stats here are linked to your pact right here, which is your arm and abilities. So it has an upgrade tree. Every level you get 1 upgrade point, so hold that, boom, upgrade, hold that, boom, upgrade. It has a full tree of upgrades and skills and everything, so it takes time. And you can freely reset it right now. This is pre-alpha, so everything you can pretty easily reset and change out. This is my current setup for that pact. If I swap, this is the Ode Tempest pact. As you can see, my arm is now like a metal arm right there. And the Fey pact is like this blue arm. So your arm is your frame, is your character class, okay? Essentially, arm swap, boom. And this is the general setup I have on for my arm, okay? So this arm, my Ode Tempest, has this. The issue right now, IMO, is it poorly explains what these does. Courage. From Mora came Strength, Bravery, Resolve. What the fuck does that mean? Does it increase my damage through like melee attacks? I assume so, but I don't actually know. Spirit, on the other hand, by Idris we knew Empathy, Imagination, and Arcanics. I'm assuming this one increases the damage of all of your abilities, okay? All of your packed abilities. But I don't know by what degree, I don't know by what measure. It doesn't actually give you the numbers, right? So it kind of pisses me off, but hey. So I hope they fix that up in the future. And then Grace, Safine bestowed Cunning, Agility, Insight. Is that increase my mana pool? I legitimately don't know. Like better mana pool? Better cooldown reduction? I don't know. It just does not tell you, but that is what I am assuming. You get 10 life every, I think, like level up you get on this. So if you see, I take away each one, it takes away 10 life, and then back to 160 life. So I would just like better explanations for this. Games being cryptic for the sake of being cryptic's never really a good mechanic, IMO. But that's the general idea around this. So it'll change up in the future. Most likely. 5 different styles of weapons. I've tried out long blades and I've tried out pole arms. We also have daggers, we have bows, and we have shields. Luckily, I've tried out a bow because the one arm, as I showed before, has a bow by default, but it's a magic bow, so yeah. These have skill trees. You increase and gain more skills, right? Attack directly after a parry to perform a riposte, dealing devastating damage. So when I parry them, they turn yellow, and then I quickly hit them, like I showed before. Smite, you have a critical strike to the soul. Smite exposes enemy souls for a short duration. Steal exposed souls to deal massive damage. It's great. So you do have skill trees on your weapons as well as on your class and abilities. But your class and abilities is essentially your character, and the weapons are your weapons. So just remember that, okay? Each individual weapon, they pretty much have very similar skill trees right now, but they aren't the same. So yeah, which is nice. And then the weapons themselves individually have stats here, like the VASP 4, and level it up, it'll get stronger. And here I have the Soulless 1. This is the weapon I started with. I will swap out to this weapon so you can see some gameplay on that. And I will swap out and keep my Ode Tempest pact on. This pact is so ridiculously OP that you can one-shot pretty much every boss and every humanoid boss in the game and mini boss in the game with this pact. So it's 100% getting nerfed so that you can't one-shot bosses soon. And this is currently like my full upgrade tree on this. As you can see, like I've put more upgrades and time into some certain ones, but it all takes time. This is a grinder, looter, MMO or RPG, MMO-RPG-lite, if you will, mmo-lite. Yeah. So that's kind of just how the game works. You collect loot, you build up your stuff, you get stronger, and then you keep going. People are saying it has a Forma-like system where you reset a weapon's level, and your account level is up here. It increases based on you one-time leveling up, in theory one-time leveling up, your weapons and your packs, but it's also pre-alpha, so it can be incredibly buggy. And people are saying if you sell a weapon, it deletes your mastery rank, which is your account, I guess, like your character account rank. So it's buggy. I wouldn't worry too much about it. This is pre-early alpha. There we go. And now we are back in the open area. Let us go try and find a quick dungeon. God dang it. The one issue I have with hitting tab to go to Nightfold, which is, you know, this area, is there is no cooldown. So I accidentally hit tab because I'm used to hitting tab in other games, and it instantly takes me to Nightfold. I would like it to be a 1 second hold on tab so that I don't instantly get teleported each time I accidentally try to like check the map. Because in Warframe, you hit tab to check like your stats and the mission and loot. And in this game, that's not necessary. You just hit M to bring up the map. So it's a little annoying. You have to get used to it if you've played other games where you use tab a lot. Now, let me show you the weapon and everything. You can go and assassinate people, right? As long as they don't see you and alert, you can sneak up. Oh, I'm a god. And then, boop, assassination. So you can do that. Okay, you can do that. Yeah, this is a melee magic RPG. Souls-like, not really, but like, it's a Souls-like in the sense that it is a melee magic RPG. I would more compare it to like Skyrim, but I would agree like Souls games are more up to date than Skyrim, so it's probably a better apt description. So let's kick some ass around here and fight the enemies. There is a little thing here. You saw that little pop-up bar. It's because I have perfect throw skill unlocked. So if I hit that little yellow section there, the little bar at the end, boom, it increases the damage. So, yep. And I leveled up my Ode Tempest. Now, let me show you why the Ode Tempest is so OP. Second ability increases damage by pretty much double for everyone around here. First ability, this thing one-shots everything almost. Because it does damage each time you push them back, it does such an insane amount of damage. Now we have the little Sparrow quest. Let's run around in here, and our birdie will take us to all of the enemies where we kill. I can throw that there. That's like an AoE, I guess, poison. Oh, I'm just so OP right now. Let me also show you my third ability. My third ability here is Invulnerability. They're not doing damage to me, it is deflecting it. It works in tandem with the second ability, and if they hit me, it does damage in like AoE pushback. But they already hit me 5 times, so I believe your third ability, your invincibility shield, has a limit of 5 hits. So yeah, incredibly OP. Yeah, the first ability is insanely OP because it's like bugged out. It hits the enemy like 20 freaking times if they're right beside you, and then explodes for a ton of damage. So yeah. These were the yellow baubles I was telling you about that you need to unlock for each like named location to get more info and more loot. You just hit Alt, boom. You use your arm, you grab it, more info. Awesome. And yeah, that's essentially the gameplay cycle of the game outside of also doing dungeons. So let's just go kill some of the enemies and then we'll quickly jump into a dungeon so you can just see what it looks like. And then that should be about it. That'll be covering every single aspect of the game so far, but it would take longer to go over every little thing. There's also Flame Sword Igni buffs in the dungeons where you absorb a Flame Spirit and then you get Fire Sword abilities, and it does way more damage. No shock there. No surprise, Fire Sword does more damage than non-Fire Sword. And then, yeah, we can just quickly kill those enemies. Enemies sometimes respawn very awkwardly, like right there. But hey. Now, I'll continue running around until, hey, for doing that Sparrow's Tail, I got a fragment of loot. So, Awesome. If we keep looking around, we might be able to find the dungeon entrance, but I might also be kind of bad and not able to find the dungeon entrance in here. Sometimes the sparrow tails will spawn inside dungeons, so that it'll automatically, if you follow your bird, take you to that dungeon. So it has a lot of interesting mechanics. There's dungeons all over the place in this game, but like I said before, there are only 2 dungeon tile sets. OP, like look at that, that's too ridiculous. So yeah, there are only right now 2 dungeon tile sets, okay? So it's a little goofy. It's just because it's pre-alpha, right? Like give it time, there will be more, but hey. Every week 2,000 people are being invited to this game. So if you want to get access and luck out, try to sign up on Soulframe's website and you might just end up with access. So yeah, you can see it says Gar location changed. It spawned a new sparrow tail over here. So now we'll run over here. There is a possibility that this is, yep, boom, first one, to Dermak. I keep saying Denmark, I don't know why. To Dermak. This is Enter the Undercity. That is the first underworld dungeon hub that you find. And again, it's all procedurally generated to the sense that they've created the tile sets and they randomly link together, the same as a game like Warframe. This is your buddy. He is also a shop, okay? So you can buy loot from him if you have money, and you can also sell stuff, and like such as weapons. I wouldn't recommend selling weapons to him, but it's possibly a viable strategy to make money later on if you have too many resources. I just wouldn't recommend it at all if you only have 1 weapon. So yeah, he can sometimes give you quests in the dungeons. You go in through the dungeon door and then it loads up the dungeon, and there is a dungeon map. So once you get in the dungeon and unlock everything, you hit M, you slowly unlock the map, and each dungeon also gives you a quest, kind of Sparrow's Tail quest. So you have to go do this, rid the Undercity of the pillagers. Awesome. This is a spawn point. You can teleport between spawn points in dungeons only, not in the overworld, but in dungeons. And you have your Sparrow, and it tells you where to go. If you want to fully explore, you just want to run around and look at everything and look for chests, because there's just random chests everywhere. If you break barrels and wooden boxes, a lot of the time there will be some gold in them if there's like a group of them. So breaking boxes and stuff is a viable gold collecting strategy. Now let me go check this area here, because this might lead to an interesting area, or it's nothing at all. Okay, yeah, it's nothing at all, so never mind. Follow the bird, and then we will continue on with the main underground area. We're just gonna try and speedrun this. There's a lot to look around and check. Oh, sorry, I goofed up there. Over there. There's a lot to look around and check if you're going for like all of the loot collection, but you don't 100% need to. You can do dungeons fast, you can take it slow, play at your own pace, of course, right? Just beat up all of the wooden boxes, barrels, etc. there, and we'll continue on. So our quest is just kill all of the pillagers. So wooden boxes and barrels, I can destroy those. There is loot on the ground like that to pick up. You know, quenching acid. It's all building materials for gear. You can kick open doors sometimes. Oh, not that time, but sometimes. And now you just go around killing everyone. Oh, I got them both. You wanna, again, pick up scrap off of there. Are these boxes I can destroy? No, not boxes I can destroy. But we'll just follow along the Sparrow, because the Sparrow will take us to all the enemies we have to kill very, very quickly. Loot the enemies and destroy boxes for all of the Drac. The Dracs. Dracs are the gold in this. Right, we just quickly go along killing them. And the levels in this game vary from level 2 to level 1, sorry, to level, so far like 30, but it can go higher. There are endless gauntlet modes and areas in the dungeons. If I find one, I'll let you know, but you know, it's based on spawn. Oh, my flame. If you look in the map, the blue guy here, that is actually the flame spirit Igni that I was talking about, even if I explained it a little poorly. But let me just show you what this means. If I run around here, I'm just gonna go and try and find him. Oh crap, he's running everywhere. He's a little sneaky snake. This little ghost is being a little sneaky snake. There he is. So that's my little ghost. I absorb his soul. Bow. Or his soul essence, and then I get insanely OP flame sword. Now let's go kill all the enemies with our really cool flame sword. I'm also building the sword from that. You'll see, one shot, insanely high damage. It pretty much doubles your damage. And this is like a low level dungeon, so we're just speed running it right there. There are puzzles in the dungeons as well. So if you come across certain things, there are puzzles. Just keep that in mind. Some of them are levers hidden behind boxes. Other times it is pressure plates that you have to stand on. So there are like little small puzzles, right? Keep that in mind. Boxes, see? I got 20 Drax right there. You can't see it, sorry, because it's behind my face. But you heard the little money noise, right? Hopefully. Destroying some boxes. Yeah, there's not much gold this time. They might change it so gold drops less from boxes if they haven't already. Also, when you light people on fire with your flame sword. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. I got 80 gold just from breaking those boxes. Had 80 Drax in it, right? I got some Drax and some knotwood, scrap steel there from the chest and everything, so. Yeah, destroying stuff like that, legitimate strategy to get gold. It's actually like the meta way. When you're running around the Undercity, make sure you destroy boxes for gold. Like, I just got like 100 gold right there. Drax, sorry. I'll say gold a lot when I mean Drax, but you know what? We're just used to saying gold because of all the MMOs and stuff. This is currently, as stupid as it sounds, still the best way to collect gold. When you're in the Undercity, run around destroying the boxes. This is, yeah, it's just legitimately the current meta for collecting gold, or Drax, when you're running around the dungeon, so not bad, right? Once you complete the quest, you can just run out of the dungeon. You can run out anytime, like, it doesn't matter. Oh, can't break those. But we'll finish off this pact of enemies, and then we'll run out of the dungeon. Usually there's some mini-boss at the end of the dungeon, but not always. These enemies are just really low level. There we go. I'll show you, he'll hit me, and then he'll do a little bit of a pushback, and some damage, see? And I can take 5 hits. There's also a heavy attack, by the way. There is a heavy attack, and it breaks shields and guards like that. So, yeah, not bad, right? We have completed the Sparrow's quest. So, we can now just kind of leave. If we see where. Nice. Bog and Myrtle, one more part till I can build it. If I show there, oh, my little birdie's taking me, where did you go? Oh, he's taking me up there. So yeah, you just follow along the little birdie. Yeah, I am the box killer. Call me box master killer. Some doors, yeah, they're just there for decoration. There's chests thrown all around this area, by the way. So if you want to actually explore, not like I'm not for the sake of the video, but if you actually want to explore, there's chests legitimately everywhere in the Undercity. The Glades, which is the second area, is more of like the nature outside, and it currently doesn't have a ton of chests compared to the Undercity location. But as you can see, Undercity, oh, chests everywhere. Look at that. Oh, I got a flame kilt fragment. Kilt fragment. I can't speak. I'm just dying. Cannot speak. And then this is the exit, and when you have the flame spirit, when you exit the dungeon, the flame spirit says, oh, you did good, goodbye. There are different armors, there are different weapons, and there are different like ability packs. But yeah, for now, armor just doesn't have stats. I assume they'll add that later. And then bada bing, bada boom, this will slowly, when it loads out, uncover, and then you can leave. That is currently the general gameplay cycle of all of Soulframe, right? It's not incredibly difficult, as you can see. But there are much higher level enemies. I think currently the highest level enemies are around in this Fort Kerr Lail area. By default, I think a lot are like level 20 to 30 at max. So that dungeon there had around level 1 enemies. It does have fall damage, try not to die. So just keep that in mind. Different areas, different levels of enemies, much stronger, much weaker. Like we did this earlier. These respawn, by the way. You can always quickly kill one for some sweet XP. When you reclaim your sword, by the way, if it hits enemies, it does damage them. It just, you know, it doesn't do a lot, but it will damage them. That's a chest. They just look a little weird. Like the little square chests. Sometimes I forget they're there, so yeah. But hey, you can always gather a bunch of enemies, and since I have Ode Tempest, watch this. You just like, boop. Insane ability right now. Insane ability. It will be nerfed because it just kills almost everything in one shot. Even at level 1, I was one-shotting every single enemy in this game using that ability. And yes, this game's gonna be, if people weren't getting this, it's a full free-to-play live service game on launch. But it's just like so early right now that it's just pre-alpha. So there's nothing to buy, there's nothing to spend money on, and obviously the game is pretty bare bones. What level are these? Still level 2, not worth my time. I'll just kill them and then run away. So yeah, I hope they don't do any like gacha game shenanigans in this. I believe most of the purchasables will probably be cosmetics and then probably like pay to win purchasing of weapons and non-cosmetics like the armors as well, cosmetics, armors, whatever, as well as purchasing like possible build upgrade materials. But there is no monetization in the game as of yet, so there's really no point in talking about it until they add it. As you can see, these leveled enemies are level 9. They still get one shot by that, don't get me wrong, but they're a lot tankier and do a lot more damage. I don't know if you noticed that. That just spawned right there as one of the open world quest, not quest, but Sparrow journeys, Sparrow quests, if you will. And it darkened the entire area, right? That darkened the entire area. Oh, crap, sorry. I just was able to smite him. I wanted to show you me smiting someone and stealing their soul with my flame hand. But yeah, there's a ton of open world chests like right there. So if you don't feel like running dungeons, you don't actually have to go out of your way to farm dungeons all the time. Certain stuff will only drop in certain dungeons, right? I can still one-shot level 20 enemies like that, right? Level 24, level 20. Oh crap, I didn't realize. I thought I activated my third ability. Also, I forgot to show this. This ability is lightning. I have chain lightning. My previous pack had the bow. This has chain lightning. It just seems so much more incredibly OP compared to the other pact right now. So they have to balance stuff around 100% because, like, dear God, this is just so insane. But hey, I like it. It's a fun game still. But it'll take some time to get things balanced out and everything like that. You know? I can go up here, jump out here. I'm quickly speedrunning getting this open world event. And then actually we'll probably cut the review right after that, because this is the only, like, I really did want to show this in the review, because this is so far the cooler open world quest activity. It pretty much just spawns a ton of enemies, you fight them. They're obviously like really low and weak now compared to my level, because these dudes are level 7, like, yeah. I don't know why, but it like abducts and takes boxes. Because it'll have like a sub-objective of don't let it steal boxes. Watch this. So that was like a parry. Another parry. You can charge your heavy attacks so they do more damage, and again, they break through guard. Not bad, right? You just have to wait for enough enemies to spawn, and then we'll get the Nimrod boss spawning here. So I just wanted to show you Nimrod. You see how it's intercept the skyward strong boxes? That's the sub-objective. So now you'll see, like, it's trying to abduct the boxes. Very rude. I keep forgetting to heal. And then just boop. You can use that ability to, like, one-shot anything. It's very funny. I'll show you it one-shotting the boss when it spawns. Nice. Now Nimrod, the boss, will spawn through lightning. You have to, like, unlock all of this. It doesn't take too long, but you do have to unlock this Nimrod boss. I did that day 1 within, like, 3-4 hours. Come to Mada. And now, Nimrod spawns. Oh, spawns by the lightning, right? Like, this is the boss. He'll attack. You can still parry bosses, by the way. So you can do that, parry the boss, fight him like that. You can dodge him. You can use your magic against him. Since he's lightning, though, it does no damage to Nimrod, so probably not a good idea using lightning against the boss that spawns with lightning. No shock there. But let me just one-shot him so you can see how stupid this ability is. If you want to make it stronger, use your second ability, because it increases damage. Use your third ability to defend yourself, and then just do this, right? Watch this. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's just so OP. And then you get all your XP. Like, it's so ridiculously you just one-shot him so easily. You just hit your ability. It's been one-shotting since level 1, okay? So they have to nerf that, they have to fix that. But I just wanted to show you how pre-alphas can be really goofy. So just remember that. But either way, everybody, once that thing goes away, it turns back to normal. So everybody, that is a pretty big, extensive first impressions review of Soulframe. Let me know what you think. Love it, hate it. Yeah, I'm curious. I'll be playing casually here and there, but until the game fully comes out, it's definitely going to be a smaller, more casual experience of like doing some stuff, playing around with some updates, and then not touching it for like a month until it has more updates. So yeah, sign up for Soulframe if you want to take a look. You might get randomly invited, so that is pretty cool. And you can test it out. Let me know what you think. You can always subscribe, like, and use Epic Games creator code Pupsker to support the channel if you use the Epic Games Store. So thank you, everyone. Check out all the socials, and I will see you next time. Cheers.